One day, a tentacled monster of unknown origin destroys over 70% of the moon, and he announces that he'll destroy the world in 1 year. However, the government had a plan. The worker, Tadaomi Karasuma, allows the creature to be the teacher of Class 3E. All the students are equipped with weapons specifically designed to kill the creature. A reward of 10 billion yen is waiting to whoever can assassinate him before graduation. Unsurprisingly, none of the students can even touch him due to his Mach 20 speed. Class bully Ryoma Terasaka convinces Nagisa Shiota to wear a grenade filled with pellets. When the creature gets distracted after assigning the students to write a poem, Terasaka detonates the grenade once Nagisa comes close to the monster, but the creature molts its own skin to protect itself and Nagisa from the explosion. The monster menaces the class to desist from coming up with plans that will hurt others. Kaede Kayano names the creature Koro-sensei because he sees him like the unkillable teacher. While Koro-sensei is chill while reading, Nagisa encourages Tomohiro Sugino to kill Koro-sensei by pitching a baseball covered with pellets. But Koro-sensei easily dodges the baseball and catches it. Later, Sugino is depressed when Koro-sensei crushes his dream of being a pro baseball star, but is because his wrists and elbows aren't flexible as they should be. Koro-sensei tells Sugino to focus on his own strengths for future plans. After that, the students of Class 3E even fail to kill Koro-sensei when he ties himself to a tree branch on purpose. Karasuma joins Class 3E as the physical education teacher, seeing how the class is being ridiculed by other students of the school. Another student due to transfer to the class is informed of his mission. Karma Akabane transfers into Class 3E following a suspension. He manages to do some real damage to Koro-sensei by giving him a handshake with knife shards glued in his hand. While the students later take a quiz, Karma steals Koro-sensei's ice cream to get his attention, shooting him with an unloaded gun to catch him off guard. After hearing word from Nagisa that Koro-sensei worships the octopus, Karma leaves a dead octopus on Koro-sensei's desk. But Koro-sensei turns it into takoyaki to ridicule Karma. In the day, Koro-sensei predicts every plan that Karma tries to pull. As a last resort, Karma jumps off a cliff with a gun, which would tell if Koro-sensei would risk his life for a student or would destroy his pride as a teacher. However, Koro-sensei saved Karma using his tentacles to make a spider web, leading Karma to accept Koro-sensei as his teacher. The Class 3E is introduced to their new language teacher, Irina Jalovic. She is a professional Serbian assassin with no interest in teaching the students. After being seduced by her, Nagisa shares his notes about Koro-sensei's weakness, Irina. When Koro-sensei returns, Irina ropes him into a storage shed so that her team of assassins can kill him. But this goes wrong because she uses the wrong ammo. Later, after the students discuss with Irina because she refuses to teach them properly, Karasuma shows her how dedicated Koro-sensei is to teaching his kids and how important education is for them. Realizing her mistake, Irina begs to teach her students, helping them to learn all she knows. Later, Manami Okuda attempts to poison Koro-sensei, but it has no effect. She is very introvert, but she has a passion for chemistry. Koro-sensei notices this and offers to help Manami make an effective poison. Surprisingly, it turns out to be a tonic that gives super speed to Koro-sensei, and then a liquid form. He teaches Manomi to improve her communication skills so she can grow as a person. Later, the Class 3E is forced to travel to the main campus to endure a school assembly. The other classes become envious due to the students of Class 3E for having Karasuma and Irina as teachers. Koro-sensei shows his support by disguising himself as a scholar, providing copies of handouts previously not given to Class 3E. Later, Nagisa used his experiences in Class 3E to handle himself against Nobuta Tanaka and Sosuke Shugaya, two bullies from the main campus. School principal Gakushu Asano visit to Class 3E to meet Koro-sensei. He noticed how Nagisa confront Nobuta and Sosuke. Gakushu tells Koro-sensei to use his educational system, which requires Class E to be at its poorest to encourage the other students. Noticing the students of Class 3E only caring about the money rather than getting good notes, Koro-sensei issues the ultimatum of leaving and the school. Should any of the students fail to score well enough in the midterm exams to rank among the top 50 students. During the midterm exams, the students of Class 3E use all the knowledge they gained from Koro-sensei's to do each question they encounter. But they are shocked by questions that Gakushu had added at the last minute without informing Class 3E of the changes, resulting in none of the students other than Karma ranking among the top 50. Koro-sensei receives some encouragement from his kids and becomes determined to make better for the final exams. The Class 3E prepare for a field trip to Kyoto, which is also being used as an opportunity to kill Koro-sensei. The students are separated into groups in which Nagisa, Kaede, Karma, Sugino, Hiromi, and Kanzaki agree to be in a group. On the train ride to Kyoto, some delinquents steal Yukiko's itinerary, noting the group activities. On the next day, the group visits all the assassination spots, but they are ambushed by the delinquents, who kidnap Kaede and Yukiko. Yukiko laments to Kaede about her rebellious acts due to her being raised in a strict family. Nagisa, Karma, Sugino, and Hiromi use the guidebook written by Koro-sensei, which provides a guide on how to go through hostile situations to deduce where Kaede and Yukiko are being held. Koro-sensei arrives to help his students, Nagisa and the others, knock out the delinquents with their guidebooks. Yukiko is encouraged by Koro-sensei's words. While the other groups are following Koro-sensei on a tour of Kyoto, a sniper named Red Eye is tasked with assassinating him at various spots. But every attempt to shoot him was frustrated, and his mission is cancelled when Nagisa's group gets into trouble with the male delinquents. Later, Red Eye is approached by Koro-sensei himself, who invites him a meal, thanking him for helping make the field trip a valuable learning experience for his students. Red Eye, inspired by Koro-sensei's ways of thinking as a teacher, decides to quit his job to be able to explore the world. Now in the hotel, after some relaxing time, this eventually turns into a hunt for Koro-sensei when he listens in on their gossip. Koro-sensei hides from the kids, telling Karasuma that the students wanted to talk about his past love life. As the field trip is close to finish, the government prepares 2 special assassins to incorporate into the Class 3E. The Class 3E meets their first transfer student, an artificial intelligence known as the Autonomous Intelligent Fixed Artillery, who uses maths to analyze the best way to shoot Koro-sensei, managing to hurt one of his fingertips with the second barrage of gunfire. But the students quickly get annoyed by her constantly using weapons during class, deciding to tape them shut themselves so they can study. Late, Koro-sensei makes some mods to the machine, giving her a more human personality. The next day, the students appreciate her more and called her Ritsu. That night, Ritsu's inventors are outraged with the changes made to remove all the modifications. But Ritsu manages to hide her new personality from them before it is detected, deciding to secretly defy her inventors for the sake of keeping her promise to help her new friends. Irina is caught off guard by a retired assassin who advises her to stop trying to kill Koro-sensei. Instead, Koro-sensei proposes a match between Irina and the assassin to see who will be the first to kill Karasuma with a rubber knife, offering Karasuma his own incentive if neither of them win. Despite the guy doubts, after he fails to kill Karasuma himself, Irina uses all that she has learned targeting Koro-sensei to get close, with Karasuma accepting his defeat. Nagisa, Karma, and Ritsu later agreed to follow Koro-sensei at Mach 20 speed on a trip to Hawaii to watch the premiere of a new movie, getting a lecture along the way, and learning a lot more about Koro-sensei's point of view. On their way back, a man in a white cloak observes alongside a boy, the second assassin that claims to be Koro-sensei's younger brother. The Class 3E prepare for the arrival of their second transfer student, who is way more powerful than Ritsu. The man in the white cloak, named Shiro, enters the classroom and introduces the boy named Itona Horibe, who surprises the other students with his relation to Koro-sensei. When Itona encounters with Koro-sensei, he is shocked by the fact that Itona has tentacles in his hair. While Shiro uses his knowledge of Koro-sensei's weakness to give Itona the advantage, Koro-sensei counterattacks with rubber knives to push Itona out of the ring and winning the match. Itona goes insane after seeing himself as the weak. Shiro knocks him and carries him out of the classroom. The class interrogate Koro-sensei about his true origins, but he refuses to talk, saying that they need to keep trying to kill him if they wanted answers. The students ask Karasuma to teach more killing skills as they are now determined to complete the mission. As a baseball tournament is to be held, the male students of Class 3E are forced to play an exhibition match against the top athletes of the baseball club. Even knowing the odds are against them, and much more when pitted against Captain Kazutaka Shindo, Koro-sensei is encouraged to coach the students for the match. On the day of the match, the students of Class 3E use a bunting strategy to load the bases, allowing Sugino to help the team get an early lead. Not willing to let this slide, Gakushu takes over as the baseball club's coach to put a stop to the bunting strategy, using the power of hypnosis to turn Shindo into a berserker warrior. With the bases now loaded against Class 3E, Karma uses previous provocations he made about some unfair play to his own advantage, placing himself and class president Yuma Isekai very close to Shindo, who breaks down from trying to swing his baseball bat without hurting them. This allows the students of Class 3E to win the match. Later, Sugino expresses how he wanted to show off the friends he made in Class 3E, managing to regain his old friendship with Shindo. Karasuma evaluates the progress of the kids during the training. he senses a fearsome aura like that of a snake coming from Nagisa. Soon after, Karasuma's partner, Akira Takaoka, is sent to Class 3E to be the new physical education teacher. He initially uses a lighthearted personality to attract the students, but his true nature is soon unveiled. When Karasuma withholds Takaoka from tutoring the students any longer, Karasuma is challenged to pick one of his students to use a real knife in a match against Takaoka. Karasuma selects Nagisa, who uses the assassination skills he learned from Karasuma. Nagisa grabs Takaoka's hand and easily wins the match. Takaoka didn't want to accept the defeat, but Karasuma beats him back. Gakuho arrives to fire Takaoka, and Karasuma is again the physical teacher. Another day, Koro-sensei takes the class to their own private pool that he made, but the students are alerted when Koro-sensei's tentacles swell up when soaked in water. Meanwhile, Terasaka becomes irritated when his friends, Tokyo Muramatsu and Taisei Yoshida, are getting along with Koro-sensei. Terasaka agrees to collaborate with Shido and Itona in their assassination, previously dropping a bomb gas in the classroom to collect Koro-sensei's mucus and secretly adding a transmitter in the pool. Then, Terasaka calls all the students in the pool using a gun connected to the transmitter as a signal for Shiro and Itona. Instead, the transmitter activates an explosion and puts the students in danger, forcing Koro-sensei to get his tentacles soaked in order to rescue his students. Koro-sensei is left struggling at Itona, while Sumirahara is hanging onto a tree branch. With Karma's plan in mind, Terasaka uses his shirt, still affected by the bomb, to attack Itona, allowing Koro-sensei to rescue Hara. Then the students splash water to Itona. Shido and Itona are forced to leave once again. Later, with the final exams coming, Koro-sensei has an idea. Each student who gets the best score in their top subject will get to shoot off one of his tentacles during their next assassination day. Later, Shido tells Class 3E about Class 3A's Big Five, who are all determined to take Class 3E down. When Nagisa, Manami, Yukiko, Isogai, and Ryo Nakamura go to study to the library, the Big Five proposes a contest. Whatever class gets the most top spots in the exams can't demand anything from the losing class. While Class 3A sets their sights on making Class 3E show complete servitude towards them, Koro-sensei proposes his own suggestion of what Class 3E can ask from their opponents. With both classes chasing the win, the final exam is set. The students of Class 3E and the students of Class 3A fight against each other to finish the test before them, but the students of Class 3E have the Koro-sensei's unique teaching lessons. When the results are revealed, Nakamura scores higher than Tomoya in English, Isogai scores higher than Gakushu in social studies, and Manami scores higher than Koyama in science. Koro-sensei is disappointed with Karma for losing to Gakushu due to not studying enough and his overconfidence. Terasaka, Yoshida, Muramatsu, and Kita each earn an additional tentacle for scoring top marks in home economics, resulting in a total of 7 tentacles overall. Having won the bet, the students of Class 3E decide to use their reward, a summer vacation at an island resort in Okinawa, as the venue for their assassination attempt. Prior to their trip, biologist Hinano helps Nagisa, Sugino, and Hiroto hunt for bugs. However, Kurahashi becomes fascinated when Koro-sensei spots a rare bug worth a ton of yen. Later, Loro is called in to help train the students for their assassination. Taking interest in the top 2 snippers of the class, Ryunosuke Chiba and Rinka Hayami. After telling Nagisa about the world's most infamous assassin known only as the Reaper, Loro decides to teach Nagisa a surefire assassination technique. The students arrive at their island making all the necessary preparations for the kill. After eating, Koro-sensei uses up his emergency shedding technique to get rid of sunburn. The class begin their assassination attempt on board an on-seat chapel. Koro-sensei is forced to watch a movie produced by Koki Miyamura, exposing all of Koro-sensei's embarrassing habits, used as a distraction from the chapel, slowly filling with water and bloating up his tentacles. The students shoot off the 7 tentacles. They surround and block Koro-sensei with a hydraulic cage, allowing Chiba and Hiromi to snipe him. But Koro-sensei activates his ultimate defense, trapping him in an indestructible crystal sphere, which will last for 1 day but without the possibility of moving. The class lament their failed assassination attempt. Many of them suddenly and severely fall ill. This is because of the work of a mysterious group who had put a deadly virus on their drinks, demanding that the remaining students and teachers bring him the immobilized Koro-sensei in exchange for the antidote. Deciding against the trade-off, Koro-sensei and Ritsu come up with a plan to infiltrate the high-security hotel and obtain the antidote. Manami and Kotaro Yanagisawa take care of the poisoned students. A team of 15 healthy students along with Karasama, Arena, and Koro-sensei scale up a mountainside to sneak into the hotel. With the first floor, Arena uses his seduction and skills in playing the piano to distract the bodyguards. On the third floor, the group comes across an opponent named Smog, who is responsible for serving these drinks to poison the students with the virus. Smog hits Karasuma with a canister of paralysis gas, but Karasuma still musters up the strength to knock out Smog. On the 5th floor, the group finds their next opponent named Grip. Grip easily breaks a glass window with his fist, but Karma isn't impressed. He makes up for his failure in the final exams and steps up to fight against Grip. After Karma dodges Grip with his fistful of grabs, Grip hits Karma with a canister of paralysis gas. However, Karma manages to cover his mouth with a handkerchief in time and hits Grip with another canister of paralysis gas, allowing the students to bind up Grip with duct tape and move onward with their mission. In order to unlock the back entrance to the stairs and reach the next floor undetected, Megu Kataoka has the female students dress up Nagisa as a girl, and they all make their way through the 6th floor lounge. A rich guy named Yuji Norita spots Nagisa and tries to impress him by buying him a drink. When the girls call for Nagisa to leave with them, Yuji tries to stop them by dancing. Yuji ends up accidentally throwing drink on a guest, telling to knock out the guest with a somersault kick before trouble arises. The students move on to the VIP floor where Terasaka knocks out 2 bodyguards using some stun guns, obtaining 2 pistols that were given to Chiba and Hayami. Upon reaching a theater stage, the students face off against their next opponent named Gastro. Gastro, who has a keen sense of pinpointing enemy gunfire, turns on all the stage lights, in which the students are forced to hide behind the theater seats. Koro-sensei instructs the students using varying nicknames in order to confuse Gastro about the students' movements, giving Chiba and Hayami the encouragement to rise above their failed assassination and get the drop on Gastro. Koro-sensei deduces that the mastermind is not an assassin, while Nagisa learns that Terasaka secretly has been infected with the virus this whole time. The students finally arrive on the top floor and discover that the mastermind is none other than Takaoka. He takes the antidote concealed in a suitcase and brings the group up to the roof. Wanting revenge for being humiliated during their previous knife fight, Takaoka calls up Nagisa in the heliport for a rematch. Takaoka demands Nagisa to kneel before him and apologize for pulling a cheap trick during their match. Although Nagisa complies with this, Takaoka detonates the antidote right in front of the class. This makes Nagisa pick up a knife with intention to kill Takaoka. Before Nagisa completely gives in to his anger, Terasaka throws a stun gun at him, urging him not to become a murderer and think about what is truly important. Despite being heavily beaten by Takaoka, Nagisa uses what he learned from Lobro to perform his secret technique. Nagisa drops the knife and surprises Takaoka with a sudden clap, just before using the stun gun to bring him to his knees. Then Nagisa shocks Takaoka unconscious after leaving him with a fearsome smile. Smog, Grip, and Gastro suddenly arrive and reveal that the virus they created is nothing more than temporary food poisoning, as they did not agree with Takaoka's harsh methods. The next day, the students recover from their symptoms and Koro-sensei emerges from his sphere. The students make the most of the remainder of their vacation before returning to school for the second term of their Assassination Classroom.